Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a weekly quickie with me, yours truly, Brooke Jean. Today, I wanted to take a quick minute to talk to you guys about a topic that is near and dear to my heart. There has been so much coming up lately around well being and wellness and mental health, with yesterday being, the World Mental Health Day, and just so much happening here in the US right now as it relates to mental health and things that are going on in politics. And so I wanted to jump on and share some ways that we can attend to our wellness and our well being in the workplace. So, I hear in sitting with my clients every day these mental health things that they're suffering with or struggling with. And, everyone goes out into the world and goes to their place of employment and does what they can to do a really good job. But there's so many things that are happening that are absolutely impacting people. And so I think it's important that us as leaders, us as C suite level executives, us as business owners, us as human beings really start to take this term wellness very seriously in the workplace. So it is time that it can't just be a buzzword. So I know you've heard about wellness in the workplace. I know you've been seeing articles coming out about it. But it is something that, if you haven't started to think about it and talk about it, now is the time. And we're already a little bit behind the eight ball. So, some tips for implementing wellness into the workplace. I'm going to give you three kind of buckets to think about and consider today. And as always, this can be an interactive conversation. So if you have a question or a comment, I will try to address them as I go. But the first thing, and this is going to seem obvious, it might seem like a big duh, but it's not, is if you want to implement wellness into the workplace, I want you to do a self-assessment on how you're doing with your own individual wellness. So, how full is your well? How full is your tank? And where in your life are you falling short as it relates to wellness? So, are you taking care of your physical self? Are you taking care of your career well being? Are you taking care of your relationships? And are you setting healthy boundaries? Are you living your best life? Really taking an assessment of where can I be better in terms of my wellness? Because I can't encourage wellness in the workplace. I can't set the example for wellness in the workplace. I can't even come up with creative strategies of how wellness could be incorporated into the workplace if I'm not well myself. So, by tending to your own needs, you're going to be able to think of the strategies, create solutions, lead your team, listen to your team, and be able to actually do this whole thing of implementing wellness into the workplace. So, get right with yourself first. Figure out where you're falling short and start putting some support and action items behind those focuses for your own wellness. So the second bucket, there's a ton of research out there right now of different things that you can do to implement wellness into the workplace. But human beings are so different, and the things that different people need varies wildly from team member to team member or from employee to employee. So the second step is ask your people. Ask your people what they value as it relates to wellness. Is it that they need a different work schedule so that way they can get their best sleep early in the morning and come in a little bit later and stay a little bit later? Is it that they need a different break and lunch schedule so they can cook a healthy meal or hit that yoga class? Is it that they need mini breaks to go outside and take a walk around the block to recharge themselves and to kind of count to 10 and to recalibrate their nervous system? Is it that they need daycare on site? Maybe you have a company that's crushing it right now and you are able to go next level with wellness and you want to do something big like bringing in on site daycare or bringing in somebody like me to offer therapy services for your team or group therapy services for your team or bringing in yoga once a month or whatever that looks like. No, but take time to ask what wellness means to your team and what they value. because it's different for everybody. And you can really start to figure out, well, what's going to be the most helpful here? And what are the small everyday things I can do to encourage my team to be well? By helping them take breaks and lunches, by helping them go outside, by helping them get to that yoga class, by having a meditation competition or contest, by having a healthy cookout on Fridays. And then what are the larger strategies I can do that really kind of set some framework around supporting them in doing these activities or these things that help them be well? Okay. A important thing I want to mention here. So when I go in and I work with companies as a coach or a consultant around mental health awareness or improving a wellness culture, a lot of times we end up starting with a more traditional focus, which is around making sure your company has a clear vision, a clear mission, very clear values, and that folks have a role that they know what is expected of them. Because a lot of times when we look at what's creating the discomfort and the distress and a lot of these issues in the workplace, it's related to those like bigger picture things in the organization. And so we can have a yoga retreat, but if team members every day are frustrated because they don't know what their role is and they don't know how that role plays an impact on the larger company vision and feeling connected to that, that yoga retreat might not sink in as much, might not be as meaningful as if it's on top of some of these other things being in place. So I think it's important that, you know, in those aspects of their job, they know what's expected, they know how to be successful, they have the tools to be successful, you're a great boss for them. If those things are not handled, we can work to handle them and then build from there. But if those things are established in your company or in your organization, then you get to go to that kind of next layer of wellness that we're talking about today. So I just wanted to make that little note. And so moving on to the third is being aware of your team's mental health states. So we are totally uncomfortable with this piece as leaders of organizations. We can sense the team is stressed out. We can tell visibly that someone in the room is overwhelmed. And what do? We avoid it. We pretend it's not there. We chalk it up to it's a personal problem and they should leave that at home. Guys, here's the deal. Our mental states follow us whether we're at home or whether we're at work, whether we're with our best friend or whether we're with our spouse. And ignoring your team's mental health states is detrimental for so many reasons. Because if you avoid it, you can't actually help them work through it. Okay? And we know that 1 in 5 people is dealing with a mental health disorder in every moment right now. And so by using your emotional intelligence to read the room or to read your team or to be in tune with your people, the next thing you do is acknowledge it. And you don't have to get it right. You can say, hey, Susan, let's go to lunch today. And at lunch say, I just wanted to check in with you. I'm sensing that something's up. What's going on? Or, hey, Rick, I noticed in the meeting you seemed really tight or you seemed really anxious. Is everything okay? What can I do to help? So take the bold step of acknowledging the mental health states that you're seeing. Odds are someone on your staff right now is drowning in stress, overwhelm, anxiety, depression, substance abuse, something. And therefore, they're not able to reach their maximum potential because they're suffering with this thing. And being a great boss or being a great leader, more importantly, means that you're in tune with your people and that you're providing resources for them to be their best selves. So, after you acknowledge the mental health state that you're witnessing and observing and paying attention to, and the next thing you do is check in, and then the final thing that you do is offer resources and support. So if you take Susie to lunch and you find out that she's just completely overwhelmed, then become a problem-solving partner of how she can prioritize and what resources she has to help her, or what she needs to kind of take a break throughout the day to recharge going into the second part of the day. Or if, you know, Rick is coming across a certain way and you check in with Rick and you find out he's having marital problems at home, just being a listening ear without judgment. and offering a resource can go a really long way. So those are kind of three things to think about. All right. If you're getting serious about implementing wellness into the workplace and making sure that your employees are taken care of, which, by the way, guys, particularly in Denver and in Colorado with a 2.8 unemployment rate, finding great people and keeping great people and having them really engaged is the biggest challenge right now. And so by taking wellness seriously and getting ahead of the cusp and doing some unique things where your team can thrive is going to set you apart. So it starts with you filling your tank first and you living and breathing, taking care of your own wellness and cleaning that up if you need to. Then it's asking your team what matters to them when it comes to wellness. What do they value? And don't forget about the importance of them knowing their role, knowing how to be successful and having support. Without that, everything else you do is going to be small potatoes. And then number 3 is paying attention to their mental health states and doing something about it. Okay? If you're uncomfortable there, do some research, get some support yourself, take the risk and try it out just by saying, hey, it seems like you're upset. No one's going to be angry with you for checking in with them. And you don't have to have it right. Okay? If you're interested in doing something big for your company, like investing in some therapy sessions for them or investing in monthly yoga with a group therapy, let me know. These are things that my company loves to do to support wellness in the workplace. But also just research things that I can do to take care of my team. There is so much information out there. And you can start. Once you've gathered the research from your own team, what they want, you can build from there with what's already available out there. So, as always, I want to be a resource for you guys. If you have questions about how to implement wellness into the workplace or how to improve your own wellness or what questions to ask your team to find out what they value around wellness or anything around tending to mental health states, this is so important right now, you guys. There are so many people that are walking around triggered just by what's happening in our news and in our social media platforms, that ignoring it can be really detrimental. Whereas acknowledging what's up for your people, it really opens up a beautiful opportunity for you to connect and for you to show up for your team in a way that will matter for a long, long time. So any questions at all that you have around these things, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, take care of yourselves and therefore take care of each other. And let's take wellness in the workplace seriously. Let's transition it from being a buzzword and something that sounds cool to something that you actually put some energy around and some intention behind and some execution behind, so that way your people can leverage work as a way to be well. Because can you imagine what the results could be to your bottom line when your team is leveraging you and the workplace to have the life that they want? They will show up consistently. They will be productive. They will be engaged. They will be focused. They will be creative and collaborative. And they will be there for you through the ups and the downs because you have offered something so important to them. So it's not just a buzzword. It's a way to show up in the world that's really important, and it's also a way to impact your company on every level, but most importantly, that bottom line, when you have great people who want to stay working for you. So have a great rest of your day. Let me know how I can help, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.